Hello, hello, welcome back. We are here for our second series of the day for the LCS Challengers League on Magical, joined in again by Kangas and Beatdown. I hope you both are ready for what we have in store because Team Fish Tacos are facing off against Disguised. So, looking at these two teams, these two rosters, what kind of stands up to you? Beatdown, I'm going to give it to you because, you know, you weren't here for the weekend.
Thank you. I think the thing that's most interesting to me is Disguised Toast's method of what's the word? Logo design. I think that's very. It's very.
Oh, that's where you went with that.
Yeah. Well, what do you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were gonna go roster building. Just pick 3 of the 5 championship players.
That's
you know?
perfectly fine. No, that's
That's a smart move. That's what I would do if I was making a team. I'd be like, hey, there's this championship team. That is my team now. I'm taking that. But let's talk about their opponents first up. Team Fish Taco. This team did come in. They played in the summer promotion, but unfortunately did not make it. It was after that we had all the chaos that happened in the offseason that they ended up taking over the spot of Team Tony Top. So when we look at the team, after the promotion, they decided to completely rebuild the roster. And we see a lot of players that we saw in the Challengers League in spring, but also a couple of the players that we saw in the promotion, such as ONAC.
O Nation! Let us know in chat if you're part of the O Nation or not. But yeah, a lot of returning names. One big notable one is NXI returning in support, not in the jungle. So we do have a role swap. Support, in general, is like the most popular lane for our players to swap to. In general, that is kind of recommended for a lot of players. Like, hey, especially if you're a big brain player, kind of makes sense for a jungler to go there.
A lot of game knowledge, too.
You need a lot of game knowledge. You need a lot of voice and shot calling ability. And based on NXI's experience playing on CLG Faith last split, RIP, I would not be surprised if he does have that kind of leadership and voice he can bring to this team.
And Beatdown, when you look at Team Fish Taco, you know, what is the big standout to you besides NXI's role swap?
I think Spawn being added to this team is a pretty exciting one. He's a player who I believe, honestly, it was quite good. Even when he got called down 2 challengers in spring, I think he performed very admirably. It took some time for him to get used to playing with Diamond, who was so used to playing with Tomo, but he's still a player who I believe can really succeed at this level of play. So the bot lane is most interesting to me for this team. But of course, I mean, Lunacia is exciting as well, but Spawn making his back to the way to the league is what it's it for me.
I always find it funny, like, asking that question and be like, what's most exciting for you? Because everyone changes. It's like Lunacia, Rosethorn have been, like, the last 2 days that I've covered Team Fish Taco. Everyone's like, oh, look at that top lane. You're like, nah, let's look at the bot lane. You know, I think it's always fun.
Different Magical.
Gotta do it different. But Beatdown also wasn't here, so he didn't even know that. This is just all him on his own.
I'm catching up.
You're catching up, and you didn't even need to get prompted to do that. But let's switch over. Hey, we're switching over now. We got to talk about their opponents, Disguise, because we highlighted a little bit. 3 of the 5 champions of spring are joining this team. Yeah, this is Beatdown's first look of this graphic. I kind of alluded to it earlier.
Mine too. I didn't actually realize we were doing. No, I just watched the tape. I don't watch the. Why would I go back and watch the analyst desk? There's no reason to do this.
That's messed up.
Well, then I guess I can leave. Bye, guys. I'm just gonna peace out. You guys
we got this, guys.
You casters, come on.
All right, no. Let's talk about the players. Come on, I want to talk about the players a little bit. You know, that's the reason we're here. Is to really build up these players, tell you why you should be supporting these teams. So Beatdown, looking at Disguise, 3 of 5 of the champions. Thoughts?
Right. I mean, it's the core of Fake God, Tomio, and Zazel, all players who ended up winning on Cloud9 Challengers in spring. It was a great final. It was a good time. The new additions in Young and Meech are the really interesting ones. Young is a player who I'm really excited still has a chance to play in Challengers League because I think his first stint with Golden Guardians Challengers before the, well, you know, he actually did look pretty good, and he's a player I'm super excited about. Meech, he's always had the hands, so we're excited to see how he's going to be able to continue developing.
Yep.
It feels like, you know, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like they've been talking about like the Thanos snap as like the incident or like the event that happened. That's kind of like what we talk about the off-season.
The off-season, the dreaded off-season. Just gotta be like, that event that happened, that, like, not even a couple weeks ago. That's what we all gotta allude to. But you know what? We also can allude to that we have with the two teams. If you haven't realized already, Team Fish Taco, Disguised is short for Disguised Toast.
Say it, Magical.
Food fight!
Yes! Food fight, baby! No, bare knuckle brawl, toast versus
Bare
tacos.
food
Who
brawl.
wins?
I don't know what that means.
What? A bare food brawl?
I said what I said.
It kind of
Just
works,
food.
though.
You put the food. Think about it. Hear me out. You put the tacos on your knuckles. You wear them like brass knuckles.
But barefoot is what I think when bare food is like you're just changing the one letter.
I didn't say bare feet, so
You know, how about let's get off of this and talk about this graphic that I built? Because personally, I think this is the peak of my career.
Let's just not talk about this graphic at all. Instead, why don't we just completely ignore all the work that you put? We're ignoring all the work that you have done, Kangas, and instead we're going to come back to us because we're just ignoring any work that you've done. Beatdown, how's your day going?
I'm just going to defy you and say I saw the young toasting, Alex. I thought that was really cool too, Kangas. So good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, well, you know what?
Okay, the important things to set for these teams, though, is the fact that both of them are 2-2 coming in, but very different 2-2s. Let's be honest about expectations. DSG have 3 of the 5 championship players with 2 new players in mid lane and AD carry, but they are 1-1 against TLC and FlyC, which we just saw. We're hyping them up as the top teams in the league, and DSG split the series against them, and TFT split them against Supernova and Fear, who are both 1-3, kind of lower in expectation for the standings. So even though they're tied technically going into this final day, heavy expectations on DSG to be favorites.
Agreed. That's a fair point. And when we look at the table, when we get a look at Team Fish Taco, like you said, they went 2-2 so far in our week, facing off against a team like Cincinnati Fear that did struggle in some of these games. In fact, I would have argued that Cincinnati Fear should have gotten a 2-0 over Team Fish Taco, but that game 1 was unfortunate, very unfortunate set of circumstances for them.
We'll see it in a moment here after this play, which is just kind of like shows how hard Team Fish Taco actually commit to their plays. That's one thing I noticed during the games over the weekend is when something happens, they all go for it at the same time. And actually, I believe that this might be the only play that we have. There's another one where Onat goes for a big teleport flanking play on Annie, and that's really the one that wins them the game at a late game Dragon fight. Then they can close out from there. But it's just everybody committing at the same time and just hard committing to that one play.
And honestly, I think that is a great showing for a team with some new players such as Onat and then NXI's role swapping. Is really just having conviction, because that's something you sometimes see lacking from some of the rookie players when they come into a new split, is that they don't have that conviction, and then a team that has more veteran players like the Skies has can easily punish that.
Well, I will say quickly, it's worth noting the experience that exists on the side of Team Fish Tacos as well. We have Rosethorn, who's been a pretty competent jungler for the last couple of years in this scene overall. I think we've seen some pretty good performances from him. NXI, even though he did take that time off, he is a jungler switching to support. There are a lot of mechanics and matchups you need to learn, but there is a lot of knowledge and map play that does translate there. So there is some experience that he's bringing to the table as well. I make no mistake, DSG are looking like the better team here and now.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's put a little respect on Team Fish Tacos. That's all I'm saying.
One thing you notice there as we actually start to take a look at DSG and how they play, you highlighted the experience difference of NXI, who's a role swap. Zazel's going to be the most experienced support in the league right now. And it's important to know in plays like this, watch what Meech does, watch what Young does, the two new players. They wait for the relevant cooldowns to go down. Cassiopeia ult is down, flash from Meech. Spirit Rush forward from Young. They wait out the cooldowns, and then they pull the trigger. The big question mark I had for DSG was, yeah, they got 3 out of 5 championship players. But it's top lane jungle support. So where's the firepower? How are the carries going to show up and actually impact and kind of gel with the other members? So far, pretty good. I mean, I'm very impressed with how Young and Meech have slotted into the team.
Yeah, I'm impressed already with how well Young played in Spring. It wasn't perfect. There were some hiccups, but he's a player who I think can really perform in a lot of these circumstances. Same with Meech, especially when you have a support like Zazel with you in the bottom lane, man. That plus his mechanics is pretty hard not to do well.
Yeah, and we'll see how they go up against Team Fish Taco, because I hear draft is ready. So I'm going to let you two take it away as well. While I do so, make sure you are subscribing to the channel here at LCS_Challengers, at Path to LCS. And if you're watching from Disguise, why not subscribe to him as well? Give him some love. But I will see you both on the other side for the Rally Cry halftime show. Take us away.
Thank you, Magical. A reminder that the revenue from all of the subs will be split between the TO and the players themselves, so every sub you give is money directly in their pockets. Really helps support the league, and we've had so many subs already. I gotta check, actually, what the current tally is, because this is the final day of the week, and maybe by the end of the day we can have like a big update. But I know that we should be over 1,000 total between both streams, which is really, really cool. Big thanks to the community for showing up for the players.
Yeah, we definitely love to see that. It's cool that people have the opportunity to give those contributions, again, like directly to the players. It is that 50-50 split, so every sub helps them out. Now we get into the actual game coming through here in game 1. Disguised Toast, we talk about how they go 1-1 in their previous series, but we already kind of got down to it. The 1-1s were not equal. The fact is, DSG were playing against the two best teams in the league. We saw what TLC were capable of, so even taking one game is pretty amazing on their end too, and I think they've still shown us that they are a force to be reckoned with, and Taco definitely have their work cut out for them.
So let's catch up on what the game plan is for both of the teams so far. Team Fish Taco banning away Lucian with 2 junglers in Vi and Sejuani. DSG banning away the Annie, Nico, and Emilio. Focus a little bit more on that mid lane and support role. So Team Fish Taco, we go for the Maokai for Rosethorn.
Right, I mean, Maokai's still very strong jungler at the moment there. Your ability to team fight, vision control with the brushes, with those saplings. It's a good pick overall, and especially is good dealing with those pesky mobile carries like the Zeri coming through here. That Nature's Grasp is going to be really big in these team fights.
Interesting that the Maokai was the priority, because with Emilio banned, we saw in the last series and overall in the weekend, the Emilio Yuumi trade is fairly popular. But with Emilio gone, that means it's just a free Yuumi. And we get a Draven locked in as the answer for spawn. Let's go!
This is what they were hoping for. If that gets locked in, we could see that very dominant lane bot come through. You baited me, Kangas. I know
I thought it was locked in. I didn't see it was still fluttering. That's on me. I'll own that one. I'll own that one. It's okay.
Aphelios is good too.
Aphelios will not be as good though without something like the Yuumi or the Emilio on him. Do they go with the Lulu?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, never mind. This is hype again.
Wait, that's
this is hype again.
Yeah, no, we're back to getting excited. I really like that one for NXI. I mean, it's very obvious. You either pull Yuumi when she's dismounted, or you get the sweet 2-for-1 special if you manage to pull Zeri while Yumi's mounted on them. So good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, how is NXI's Blitzcrank mechanics though? Role swapping from the jungle role after taking a year off of competitive play. Ooh, this is a very exciting opportunity for NXI, but also a Blitzcrank that's missing your hooks is pretty much useless. So it's kind of feast or famine. You got to land those skill shots.
Yeah, but Blitzcrank is that kind of champion. You can only land as long as you get one hook at the right time. It is game changing.
You just need that one.
Exactly. Now we're seeing that K'Sante come through. Jack's ban tells me it's going towards the top side, but if that's the case, I mean, we should really be banning Olaf. We'll see, maybe that's the second ban coming through here. And on the other end, more junglers is looking like. You just want to limit what Tomio is able to do. He said he's not a Sejuani one-trick, guys. He promises. Well, now he has an opportunity to really show us what his champ pool is going like, because that's 3 junglers I see banned now.
Yeah, clearly Team Fish Taco did not believe him because they took Sejuani away.
Exactly.
Test that theory from Tomio. Fake out on the K'Sante, though. Very high priority top lane pick right now with the Jax band away. High expectation that he can just win the lane. Fake Out's had a great start to the season already, getting the better of a lot of top laners. And even though Lunacia in spring had a reputation for being the one of the solo kill kings, up there with Hoon, up there with MNS, kind of petered out in playoffs, and so far has not been picking up that many in the beginning of summer split. Still, hope Lunacia is able to turn things around, but it will be tough if you don't have that counter pick with the Jax and you're playing it's the K'Sante, and your team's banning away instead the Wukong and the Akali. Young, obviously known for that pick.
Definitely. So it's a nice little, a nice pick there. Maybe there's a read from seeing the Ahri come through. Young, of course, very able and willing to pick the Akali, so they just want to remove that. I'm now starting to lean though, and maybe this is that K'Sante mid. You still have these options to come through here, but I'm thinking it's got to be jungle, so you give that opportunity for, I mean, both Fake God and Young have that decision. It's like, all right, guys, what are we playing? Do you want K'Sante into this or that or whatever?
Okay, we get the Kindred locked in now for Tomio. A little bit more focus on DPS rather than tank and engage, which has so far been primarily the role of Tomio as a jungler for this squad, even back to Cloud9 days. Can Tomio now be that carry? This is a big test and a big opportunity for him to step up to the plate. And Team Fish Taco now get to choose what they basically blind pick. I'm happy you highlighted the Cassandre still could go mid. So Team Fish Taco have to be prepared for that for both of their solo lanes as they lock in the Renekton to start.
Yeah, and Onat, hey, we know him to mostly play mages. Ahri is definitely a big one for him. Another reason we saw that one taken away. So now he's got to dig a little bit more into the champ pool. What does he have for us? We've seen things like the Victor. The Syndra, I think, is probably a good one. And that's a good call out, Kangas. They're going to go for it.
I mean, it gives some setup for the Maokai. They can play off of each other and make some plays happen. But also, you can just try and threaten burst onto a Zeri Yuumi, who, again, Yuumi can keep you, in a safe position if you can move. But if you're locked down, Yuumi doesn't necessarily provide, like, an insane amount of damage reduction. It's just that one healed and maybe your passive shield. So, potential to blow up Meech right now, and that means Sylas locked in here as the final pick for DSG.
All right, so the Sylas is an interesting one. We haven't seen a lot of that one lately. It's something Young is definitely comfortable on. And even though you are outranged and poked by Syndra, you got a lot of ults to steal. The big one for me is that Nature's Grasp. Young clearly playing for the team fights later on into the game. And there's going to be a lot of playmaking potential on him to be able to win these fights.
Young loves those melee champions. If you take away the Akali, has other things in the tank right now. I will say, I mean, there's a couple big ults to steal, but nothing that's like game-breaking. So
Nature's Grasp.
Okay, yes.
Nature's Grasp.
Okay, I guess that's the one. Also, I mean, even the Blitzcrank ult, just silencing everybody, is not too shabby.
See, now you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Welcome.
I said mostly not OP ults for him. There are still some clear good ones. But overall, I am liking still what DSG drafted across the board. They are my expected favorites coming into this match. Let's see if they can bring it onto the Rift as we are loaded in for game number 1. Reminder to let us know in chat, spam DSG. If you have the faith, spam TFT if you're hungry. Actually, I guess you could be hungry for both of them. They're both food.
I mean, who's hungry for toast?
That's a good, okay. Okay, let's get some out of the way here. Toast can be good as a supplement, right?
Yeah,
especially if you have eggs on it, some jam.
Yeah.
Also,
that's different, but toast on its own?
Toast on its own, not as great. But same with the taco. I mean, what is a taco on its own? Just the shell? I guess that's the taco shell. I don't know. We're getting a little into the weeds there. But underrated toast is just butter with a little bit of sugar and cinnamon. Oh, it's delicious.
That sounds like something I made when I was 10 and my parents were at work.
Yep. And here's the fun fact, Beatdown. You can still make it today.
Yeah, I don't think I will. But, what I will do is remind chat, spam Taco. You think Team Fish Taco, is going to win. Spam DSG, of course, if you think this guy's toast team is going to win. And, of course,
shame on me. I
the
gave
immutable
the wrong,
chat.
prompt.
The immutable chat will show us the way, King.
I think no surprise, DSG winning right now, but Taco's bringing it back a little bit here. We'll see if they can keep that up as early game catching up on where the junglers are starting. We have the top start from Rosethorn. Same with Tomio passing towards the bottom side. Interesting to see this now in both series be kind of the norm, considering that bot laners are often just handshaking. But you do have a Blitzcrank for Taco, so maybe they can actually make something happen.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, you're likely going to get poked out, even though we're seeing Spawn and NXI try to fight. Like, that level 2 is not theirs. And that's fine. Getting pushed in, we could see Rosethorn go for this bottom lane play after he clears up his bot side jungle and just go for a play, hopefully set up the Blitzcrank hook, something like that. But beyond that, things are kind of chill right now. Young getting very aggressive, which I kind of respect. Trying to use the Abscond Abduct. He hasn't landed any so far, but trying to get pressure in the mid lane to make space for Tomio is the big thing here. An interesting thing, actually. I never put this together, Kangas, but this is Tomio on Kindred. I don't think I've ever seen him play this.
It's not something he's known for. Like I had said during Big Band, known for more of those engagers. You're going to be full clearing as this, so probably not as active early. An interesting start from Rosethorn. Opted for no buffs early. Went Wolves to the Raptors to Krugs, and will now go back to clear out some of those camps. Very unconventional pathing. Curious what the reason is behind that. Not something that I'm necessarily aware of, kind of the reasoning behind.
There's no knowledge on where Tomio started, so it could easily just be the fact that
gank.
he's setting up to cover a gank, but now he wants to make a gank of his own. Goodbye, Young.
Young's gonna have to flash here.
Oh,
most
no, he's fine,
likely.
he's fine.
Never mind. Okay, Rosethorn not willing to commit the flash to trade onto Young. Was hoping to get in range. But there's nothing for Tomio to take bot lane. Just going to get the scuttle. Hopefully the 50-50. Let's see.
Oh,
and there it
wow. I mean, Hunter's Mark aside, this is pretty good for Disguised Toast overall because now Rosethorn hasn't done the full clear yet. Tomio is actually at a point where he's full cleared. He actually has some time to set up vision, maybe see if he can get the timer on that Raptors respawn, and then go back and spend all the gold that he has. Because look at the farm. He's got time, and he's looking like he would rather use it to clear this vision.
I mean, Rosethorn went for a very inefficient clear in terms of just getting all of your camps completed, then wrapped around for a attempt at a gank mid. Those are things that waste time, and that means that that's time spent that your enemy jungler is just hard farming. Tomio will be a little bit ahead here, can just back, reset, go right to those top Krugs as they are coming and just spawn. So should just be a second clear now for Tomio, feeling good, especially with that 50-50 mark. I echo your sentiment. Good early start here for DSG, but I will say LCS gets some work done in the top lane, mounting a decent CS advantage, so there is a small gold lead to Taco right now.
True. So that is going to be important if he manages to keep that up. Oh, hold on.
Okay, does the hook land? NXI. Oh, oh no!
Oh my!
I love the wait, the patience to see if he can get the outplay, but now it's gank top lane. Tomio joining in on the action. Lunacia not going to burn the flash. Will instead try and take the kill. Trade does not get it. First blood to Tomio.
I love the emote, the fist bump, as he helps secure that first blood coming through here. And I mean, this is Rosethorn, because he spent so long to do his first clear, he's just going through that second rotation. He hasn't spent his gold yet, and he's really paying for that inefficient pathing we were talking about earlier, King. It's Tomio, he's got gold, he's spent it, and he's picked up more as he's just going to continue farming away as everything's really going DSG's way.
Still has camps to clear, can go for another full clear. Probably be halfway towards a completed item very early in the game. Dragons on the map as well. Maybe they want to make a play for that too, because Meech and Zazel get a reset off. But Spawn had the reset earlier, so can establish some control bot lane. I like this from NXI. If you're Blitzcrank, get out of the lane, especially if you know your opponents have reset. Doesn't find anything for it, but still, it's the little things that you want to track as a support, especially somebody new like NXI coming into the role.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be keeping an eye on. Oh, hold on.
The root lands, hook, onto Meech.
But it's Zeri.
That's Zeri, though. Yeah, you can just jump over the wall. Just a good trade.
I like how we both just immediately knew, I know this happening. Well, it's a good hook, NXI. Good try.
It looked cool.
It did look cool.
Spawn did set it up. Easier to land it on a rooted target.
Rosethorn? No, he's not level 6. I think it's just an invade. It's unfortunate. Nothing's really going to come from it here. It's Tomio, though. Just going to back, giving space for Rosethorn to take the dragon. Hey, this is fine. Scaling is on your side as DSG. You're cool chilling to the late game. As long as you get one of the subsequent dragons to slow down the soul, you are chilling. And Tomio just wanting to spend his gold and get back out on the map makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, the bot lane was shoved in. You don't have priority there, so Tomio instead will just go for the full clears, trying to get gold into your own pocket. Give over that first dragon. It's not the end of the world.
It really isn't. Now, other thing to look at now is, will DSG be able to go for that Rift Herald? Fake God starting to turn things around in this mid-lane matchup. I mean, that first assist gold coming through, taking Lunacia out, is a big contributor of that. And if they get Herald, DSG, who wants to get to late game, being able to snowball, that just sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Oh, Lunacia!
Oh, goodbye.
Gets pulled back there. I don't think he expected that Q proc from Fake God to actually get the pullback. He had Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Speaking of Flash, still level 5 Rosethorn.
Meech has the cleanse and Flash available. Nice. Still just fine. Good patience there from the bot lane of DSG.
Yeah, you get Flash out of Rosethorn. He's running Hex Flash, but still, nothing gained on the other side of the map. So far, this early game has been all DSG, and look at what Tomio's doing. He's taking more camps from Rosethorn, so he's going to keep up that gold experience lead that he's gotten for himself, and just he's denying things from Rosethorn on his own side of the map. It's just set up perfectly for a play mid lane. You could reset, but we're getting close to Herald spawn time, so a play onto Onat would actually just guarantee it for them.
Yeah, shove the mid wave, get some help from Young to head up towards that if they want it. Or you can invade and try and get the stack from the Raptors. Nah, it's not the invade angle. Instead, it will just be playing to more of the top side of the map. Tomio, though, we had the question coming in. Not known for the Kindred play, known for more of the facilitator play. Great start, considering this is how you show your growth as a player in the developmental scene. Tomio is a player that's had a lot of eyes on him over the last year and a half as to what can he do with his development, how can he show growth. This is a fantastic look so far as they will push Taco off of the Herald and establish their own control.
And I talked about it in the first series, you don't see teams often rotate their Aphelios up because at this point, he has the chakras to be able to knock down turret plates really easily is what they're going for here. That's why, hold on. No, I mean,
big hook from NXI. They're catching Young.
No, he's fine.
And almost gets the kill. Unleashed power from Onet, just barely not enough damage.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it was a good attempt, but DSG, they're kind of getting everything they want here. Oh, hold on, unless.
Maybe not everything. Each does still have the flash available. Oh, NXI is going to be here. Has flash yourself.
Still has flash, yes.
Should be a flash for flash here, although NXI can actually just walk him down. Oh! Little bit late there.
Oh, the Yumi. He can't.
Might get him anyway. Nope, Meech is alive.
All right.
Meech can turn this now. Zazel's here too. NXI in a lot of trouble. Rockstone actually gets him. Okay, that was not the outcome I expected.
No.
It will be traded right back in. Jungler for 80 carry.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's a one-for-one trade. We're getting more gold onto Tomio, which is nice. Meech really didn't need to go in there. It happens. Overall, it was a nice move from Young to help finish things off. Disguised Toast, still in a really good spot this game. A Herald to make use of. And this is still their map to play for. We're just going to keep our eyes on Tomio, see where he wants to make this play. He could visit top lane again, but actually, yeah, we're going to watch this again.
Yeah, I think this might be a ping diff. A reminder, we're no longer all on the LA server.
Here's the big thing.
LA.
The
Now
Bramble
we're on Chicago
Smash.
server.
The Bramble Smash stopped Zazel from actually getting on top of Meech. And when you get CC'd as Yumi, it goes on cooldown. So that's actually part of what killed Meech, funny enough.
Interesting point there. And of course, NXI missing the hook, but still, at least they can trade that kill back. Meech is a little bit behind now. Spawn has gotten multiple plays bot lane, even though everything's been looking great elsewhere on the map for DSG. That is important to note. Aphelios has gotten a lot of that passive gold on the map from the turret plates. That means that he can be accelerated. Maybe it's a bot lane angle for Taco.
Yeah, despite DSG's attempts to limit what Spawn's able to get on that bottom side, it's as you say, he's got a nice little lead going for him there. The assist gold helps a bit from each, but ultimately, still in a good spot as this Aphelios. And it's still one hook that we're keeping an eye on now to make things happen. Wow, when I said kind of close, I lied to you, Kangas. Spawn is like 800 gold up on Meech.
And we see in the jungle, Tomio is the gold earner for DSG right now.
Yeah.
Being 1,200 up over your jungle opposition. It's going to be about the Kindred gameplay with Trinity Force completed. Big spike here for Tomio, I imagine at least. I mean, it's kind of tough with the current itemization. I'm not fully caught up on my Kindred gameplay. But from what I could
Trinity
guess,
Force is broken.
Generally,
that's all you need to know.
Yeah. It does a lot on its own. This item gives you everything.
Literally everything a
big
marksman
purchase.
could want. Yeah. Worth noting too, there's a big spike, as you say. Now, Tomio can kind of just walk wherever he wants. He still has the Lamb's Respite as well, so if things get a little dicey, he has that get out of jail free card. Now the question is going to be, do we actually go for this Drake here? DSG calling it off. Instead, we just have fights on the top side.
And they're just scrapping a little bit. I want to go back to something, though. You're a Lamb's Respite guy.
I remember, like, is that not how you say the word? I think Lamb's Respite sounds way better, but, like, you know, English and all that.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah. Either way, maybe let us know in chat.
Are you a Respite person?
I'm a Respite guy. Lamb's Respite.
You know what? Just for today, because it's with you, it's Lamb's Respite.
Let's go.
Yeah,
all right, Dragon started up by DSG meanwhile. Now that we're caught up on what we're going to call the Kindred Ultimate, Young trying to cover the flank right now. Nature's Rest thrown out, and it's just a tank from Tomio. As the Lamb's Respite available, has to pop it down. Spawn's got a lot of damage. Red, white, they're ready for the fight. And Spawn can carry this one. Onet gets the first kill. Exhaust onto Spawn.
So many low
How much more can he do? Meech in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
from Spawn. Gets onto him. Takes down Zazel. Takes down Young. It could be a triple kill to the 80 carry, and there it is. Spawn cleaning up the fight.
And this is huge for Team Fish Tacos. The fact that Spawn manages to pick up 3 kills accelerates him even further. It just nullifies the fact that DSG managed to get the dragon like we were talking about they wanted. The fact is, now that Cephalios is massively accelerated, and he's going to be a problem.
All out used by Fake God. Oh, okay. That's an item diff right there. Plus, when did Renekton come out and when did Cassante come out? I'm checking the timeline. Oh, yep. Cassante came out more recently, so 1v1.
Yeah, we're going to see the replay here. I mean, the biggest thing is that the red-white came through, and even though the Lamb's Respite came out, like, Spawn this whole time is just perfectly healthy. And the fact that they were able to get these low health bars, spend all their cooldowns on someone not named Aphelios, made it really easy for Spawn, who we praise as that player who maybe had some laning struggles on Dig Challengers, but when it came to the fights, Kangas, this guy has the killer instinct.
It's one of the things that Spawn has carried with him throughout his tenure in Tier 2 is his ability to position, his ability to carry in these big grouped up moments. Had a pretty passive laning phase, no surprise given the matchup, but still shows up when it's necessary. And that gold graph tells a tale. Now the lead to Taco.
You want to talk about a tail? Lunacia's pathing tells a tale. He sees Tomio, the fastest U-turn I've ever seen, and if you've ever driven with me, Kangas, you know that's fast. Wowza.
I actually haven't.
You haven't, yeah. I mean, come to Toronto, first of all.
No.
Yeah,
Spawn takes down the
literally what I'm saying.
As it will be traded. DSG getting the top one for their trouble. Spawn putting in a lot of work early, though, does net them that early turret gold. And that bonus from the first one. So Team Fish Taco feeling really good about how the game has kind of turned around here.
Absolutely.
Stolen Nature's Grasp. Yeah. It's Rosethorn. They knew he was in the bush. Young following up with the lockdown, but now who's locking down whom? Young in trouble as Spawn gets the 4th kill of the game. Team Fish Taco with a better map rotational play there, even if it was DSG starting the fight.
Yeah, it was a really good move from Spawn and NXI. Just this Aphelios just continues to get fed. The damage is going to be insane, especially when we look at DSG. They are more about damage over time. You look at this Aphelios, this Syndra, even Lunacia on the Renekton. Once, that itemization catches up eventually, there's a lot of just upfront damage first. So if DSG can't survive the initial onslaught, there's just no way they come out on top in these team fights.
Throughout the majority of Young's career, he's been a very aggressive player. Fighting him a little bit there. Now the team has started off with the Herald. Teleport coming in from Young. Gonna have a full 5v5 fight. Everybody's grouped together. But never mind. It is just the objective taken by DSG.
I mean, Teleport for Herald ends up being pretty worth. You're gonna be able to make a play with Tomio wherever he goes around the map. Maybe rotate Young as well and start knocking down more structures. There's still a lot of gold, very easily available for both teams, of course. This Herald could be how DSG managed to pick up that gold and kind of equalize a little bit. Because actually, I kind of want to go back to the gold at this point. Even though Meech has fallen behind, when we talk about Fed Marksman, there's still Tomio on the other side here for DSG. And when we see like how much gold they have versus each other... Oh, okay, never mind. Spawn's just the GOAT. My bad.
Wow. That's a lot of gold on an 80 carry.
I mean, yeah. Remember, Team Fish Taco, again, initial burst. That's how their team comp is really working. They can fight toe-to-toe over time as well, but that's something DSG is lacking.
And Spawn carry this game like he has carried them in the past. Has the backup of the team. Each jumps away. NXI cannot land the hook. Doesn't even look for it right there. So, but it's the fishing of Team Fish Taco. They're trying to find some kind of play, trying to find members caught out of position, especially where Spawn is. That is where they will make action happen. Expect Spawn on your screen with enemy champions. They might not be there for very long.
Yeah, and with the Dragon coming up soon, this is not something DSG need to worry about. Like I was saying earlier, Dragon Soul, not the biggest concern for them, and that's why you see the move to this top side. But props to Taco Gaming. Rosethorn, Team Fish Tacos, excuse me. Rosethorn reads it, moves up to this side of the map to match, and with that sapling, they'll have that information, whether or not this play is actually going to happen. But the Dragon should go to Team Fish Taco.
They have the control right now, and Tomia will now be spotted. Dropping the Herald down. DSG will say, all right, bet, you can take the Dragon, but will you take it fast enough to stop a potential second charge onto the inhibitor turret. Big for Team Fish Taco to actually get this as well. Spawn took a turret shot, and Meech pops the ultimate, has the flash available, slow onto NXI. There's no rocket grab. Oh, actually took the Everfrost. I like that tech as a support here.
Yeah, it's a good pickup. Herald does get that second charge. You see Meech trying to do what he can, maybe pick up a kill onto Spawn, but I mean, he's 2 levels up. He's hit that second item. The gold is not in your favor, Meech. I'm very sorry. The big thing, though, is... Okay. Red gun ult. Nice bait. I like it. Yeah. Well, the dragon hasn't gone down yet,
right
actually.
There. Oh, can Young
Okay,
get this now? Okay, you don't have a smite as the mid laner, but you can try and lock down Rosethorn, or at least force out the flash. There it is. Flash down from the Maokai, and a lot of damage to turrets as well. The top inhibitor turret did go down. Lunacia is so far in a hole, you cannot stop Fake God from pushing in on that. They also take a lot of damage on this mid turret.
The hope at this point is that Rosethorn, Onat, is definitely got to be at least 2 people. Make that move to the top side at some point. Take Fake God out of the picture. Just give Lunacia a little breathing room so he can catch his breath, be able to pick up some more gold, and hopes that he can catch up to everyone else, because so far everyone's kind of running away from him from what's been happening in the early game. And as we approach the mid game here, we're seeing a lot of these big item spikes come through, but the big thing to note still is that Spawn is the most fed member on the Rift. So wherever he is, Team Fish Tacos got a winning fight, unless DSG managed to isolate him, which they don't really have the tools to do so unless Young gets a flank. We've seen him do it on these big carry style champions, and we need to see that kind of play from him today. If he can take Spawn out of the picture, DSG have a winning fight.
There's nothing like a Vi or Sejuani that can just snap engage onto Spawn out of position. So as long as Spawn plays safe, I'm happy to bring that point up. The fights can be tough for Disguised Toast. But they're not out of it yet. The gold is still dead even if Spawn is very fed. DSG across the map can look to answer, especially somebody like Fake God, who it will still take a decent amount of time for Spawn to actually chew through all of that health bar. He's got to stack up some armor and magic resist, though, because of Onat on the map, and that means still shoved off the wave, no help to Fake God, and Spawn will claim another turret.
And you just see the support, Team Fish Taco. They know Spawn's the guy. They rotate their entire team, with the exception of Lunacia, just to make sure the president is escorted safely. And now they're in this position. It's like you said, they have vision on Tomio. Spawn has the gun sport. This Baron is going to melt.
It seems like a bait. Lunacia fakes the back, doesn't commit to it.
Young is not here.
There's still no vision. DSG now see it happening. Teleport coming in, but a lot of damage onto Fake God to start things off. Tomio jumps forward, but doesn't find anything. And that's a kill early for TFT. Young's in though. Spawn untouched right now. That's 1 to Meech. Popping off of the fight so far with a double kill.
Spawn is still here.
Battle of the carries. Tomio and Meech versus the Spawn. Exhaust down. Flash out of Spawn. Lunacia falls. And the fight falls apart for TFT. Disguised Toast coming up massive.
That's such a big turnaround here. Now they can go for the Baron. Spawn can't do anything about it. He has to just slink his way back to base. Even though I say that, he's in the area. He still has the Calibrum, it looked like, so maybe some poke from range, but this is a big maybe. Oh, never mind, he swapped guns.
Oh, no Flash, no Ghost, no Gale Force, no hope of taking this. That's just ult out of Tomio to keep him alive, and Baron secured for DSG. A bold move from Team Fish Taco does not work out for him.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing here is that you see Spawn is in a perfect position to just continue outputting DPS, but he's not actually in the position to auto. He misses the Moonlight Vigil, and though he gets a lot of DPS, the rest of his team starts to fall, and when he doesn't have people to make space for him, when he gets exhausted by the Yuumi, all of a sudden, he needs to flash out. He's not in the position to do the damage, and that was the space that DSG needed to go at it in this team fight. It's worth noting, that only works as long as exhaust is up, Kangas. So, even though DSG turned things around, Spawn is still in a position where he might be able to put some damage into these team fights later.
Love what Young did in that fight too. Splitting everybody from Team Fish Taco so that Spawn and Onat were separated from everyone else.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the damage coming through from Meech and Tomio. Woo! A very close game, but now DSG have a sizable lead, up to 3,500 gold. They still have the Baron buff to push this to even more. And it seems like they're in a position where they can actually start to mount the massive comeback. You said, yeah, there's no exhaust for Spawn, but Spawn also doesn't have Flash or Ghost anymore. So also in a very dangerous position. DSG can continue the siege.
Yeah, the big thing to watch for, I mean, Baron is in hand. You're going to lose these turrets as Taco. They're going to poke. They're going to wave clear as best they can, but they are just slowing things down. A minute 20 on this Baron buff. And remember, NXI.
Oh, wait a minute. Able to land the blind hook on a fake on. All out used. Still alive for now. DSG look for even more. They get Rose Thorn. Oh, it looked like a good start for Taco, but they pulled the tankiest member and could not burst him down.
It was a good hook, but literally anyone else can't get.
Yeah.
And it's a death. So it was a good attempt, and this is actually what I was about to talk about as it was about to happen. NXI still has the ability to make that big turnaround. You hook the right person, Kangas, and you start off the fight on a fantastic foot. It doesn't have to just be Tomio. It could be Young. It could be Meech. Anyone who does damage on this team is out of the picture. Team Fish Taco suddenly have a great team fight on their hands.
This time around, NXI does have a little bit of wards to play with. It's on positioning by the wall in case DSG walked further forward. It's going to be about the vision game. If you can get that one ward down while staying out of enemy vision as Blitzcrank, that is the perfect situation. Get into a spot where the enemy does not know you're there and they feel like they're safe, and then boom, you land that big impactful Q, and suddenly the fight can be a 5v4 in your favor. But you got to land it, and it is not looking like DSG are going to give them that opportunity. We have resets for now. There's a lot of vision control in the bottom jungle for DSG. I expect that to transition towards the top side here, as there is still an open inhibitor. Could be where their next target is.
At the moment, everyone has spent their gold. We're reaching a lot of big item spikes. 80 carries, especially on both sides, reaching critical mass at that third item. Especially you look at Spawn, Tomio, Meech, they have all their big spikes, Kangas. It's really at the point where how are you going to be able to team fight? Because this gold lead, it sucks for Rosethorn because he's super far behind, but he has one purpose. It's ult and CC a target. So realistically, this gold lead is not as bad as it seems for Team Fish Taco. They just need to be very careful about the positioning of their more tankier frontline members of Rosethorn and Lunacia.
It doesn't seem like Team Fish Taco are in line with the game plan of play to the Blitzcrank. There was a short window there where Tomio was actually alone. NXI spotted him, but there wasn't anybody around the Blitzcrank because they're trying to catch these waves instead. They're just constantly shoved in. So Team Fish Taco have not been able to find a window, a pocket, where they can actually clump up around the Blitzcrank. They're doing it now, but now is unfortunately not the right window because DSG are back away from the jungle. They now have Fake God to be the front line standing in front of them. Maybe you catch Meech, but with this build, look at that health bar. Like, that's an easy carry, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to do a lot of damage. That's a lot of notches.
Yeah, it is very, it's very disquieting.
Look at that.
And I know, she's got so much.
A
Wait, can we see? Almost 3k health. 80 carry, by the way. And then not to mention the shielding. I mean, Tomio's getting up there in terms of health too, but the thing I wanted to highlight at the moment, Taco Gaming, you can see how they feel right now. Pressured, cornered. You see them trying to do damage control in all three lanes? Oh, hold on. I need to hold that thought. Rosethorn is in trouble.
Very far forward. The team's going to need to bail him out. Teleport coming in here. And Team Fish Taco do not know how they want to walk forward. That's a big hook. Oh, they got Tomio!
That's big.
Is that enough? Lunacia's in there, trying to distract everyone from DSG to keep his team alive. Flashed up the wall, but Meech is still unleashed.
I don't know about
Meech is locked
that.
down now. Can they kill the 80 carry? They haven't gotten him. Meech still alive with the double kill. DSG just won the team fight and probably the game. Meech surviving means there's no hope for TFT in that fight. A 5-for-1 in DSG's favor.
And we talk about killer instinct for Spawn. Meech has it too. Flashes the wall to try and put game one to bed. And you're right, Kangas, it's done and dusted because the minion waves are coming through, and we still got a long time before anyone relevant pops up.
Rosethorn's up, NXI's up in 7
He does no
seconds.
damage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a big wave, and Rosethorn's locked down. DSG on their victory march in game number 1 here. Back to the drawing board for Team Fish Taco. DSG showing why they were able to split the series versus 2 very tough opponents early on. And just the strength of this jungler coming in from a championship winning performance in spring. Tomio getting the team across the finish line.
And I mean, we saw some good looks there from Team Fish Taco. Things look good, especially in that mid game, but it was that big team fight around the Baron where things completely fell apart from them. And that confidence, that ability to play together, I mean, we expect nothing less from the core of the winners of Spring.
Tomio got them to the point, but I also want to give credit to Meech, who was the one who really got them across the finish line with those back-to-back team fights. At the Baron, he was the one doing a ton of damage. And then right at the end there, Tomio gets hooked by the Blitz, blown up before you can drop the ultimate or do any damage. But it's Meech that is back into the game. We saw the health bar did not go down in that last fight and held out long enough for DSG to pick up the win. So, like I said, back to the drawing board for TFT. Let's see what they're cooking up for game number 2. Meanwhile, we're sending to a short break before Magical comes back for the Rally Cry halftime show. So we'll see you there.